Joining me now is Democratic Congresswoman Val Demings. She serves on both the House Intelligence and Judiciary Committees overseeing the impeachment hearings. And Congresswoman, we know the Intelligence Committee will send its impeachment report to the Judiciary Committee very shortly. Do you expect firm recommendations, and will all the supporting evidence be included?
Well, good morning, and I do believe that all evidence certainly will be included in that report. So the Judiciary Committee can make the necessary decisions that they need to. As you know, this week we will begin the very critical process of hearing from constitutional experts to really lay out the ground for impeachment of the president. So as we, from the intelligence community, turned over that report to judiciary, we still have a lot of work to do.
And we know the witnesses for Wednesday's hearing will be legal experts on impeachment. Any sense of how many future hearings your committee will hold? And do you expect any fact witnesses to be called or recalled from the Intelligence Committee's proceedings?
Well, we have not really made the decision on future hearings or future witnesses yet. I think our main focus right now is to have the president and his counsel, who you know are given the same privileges as President Nixon and President Clinton had, to participate and engage in this impeachment process, even to the point of if we have any executive sessions on the Judiciary Committee, they're invited to participate. So we are certainly hoping that the president, his counsel, will take advantage of that opportunity. If he has not done anything wrong, we're certainly anxious to hear his explanation of that.
Have you gotten any indication the White House will be involved, or the counsel?
We have not. As you may know, Chairman Nadler sent a letter. I know they've been in conversations with the White House and counsel, but they sent a letter just again inviting the president, making sure that he and his counsel are aware of the opportunities to fully engage and participate in this process. We are certainly hoping that he will, as I said, take advantage of that opportunity.
And as I just talked about with Dan, you have the McGahn ruling, which could affect Bolton, Mulvaney, important witnesses. Why not wait to see if they eventually could testify?
Well, what we have requested are documents from the witnesses that you have just mentioned, the State Department, Chief of Staff. We want to have those documents, to review those documents that will help to lead any interview or testimony from those participants. As you well know, they have not been willing to obey lawful subpoenas that have been issued. And look, we're not going to play any games with them. The American people are not going to, I think, tolerate any games. If they're serious about obeying lawful subpoenas, then they need to respond to the request for documents and then obey those lawful subpoenas.
But couldn't their accounts be critical to understanding what's happening? I mean, again, why not wait?
Well, as I said, they have not been willing to really comply with lawful subpoenas. They want to, what I believe, is to play a political game and tie the process up in the courts as long as they can and run the clock out. We're not willing to play that game. We have requested documents. Those documents, as you well know, are critical and very valuable to the work before us. And so if they comply with the document request, I believe it shows a good faith effort on their part to further cooperate with the inquiry.
And Congresswoman, you've seen all the facts and evidence laid out on these impeachment hearings, but no witness has personally attested that the president directly conditioned the release of military aid on investigations into his political opponents. Does that missing element really undermine the Democratic argument?
Let me tell you, the best witness, the most effective, the most valuable witness that we have is the President of the United States himself. When President Zelensky on July 25th, on the infamous call, mentioned the fact that he was about ready to purchase additional weaponry, President Trump responded, "But I need you to do me a favor, though," and then went into what the conditions will be. We know that every witness that we've talked to, none of the witnesses that we've talked to who have been directly involved or not, were able to give any reasonable, rational explanation for holding up the military aid. And we do know that the aid was only released after congressional committees started asking questions and the whistleblower came forward. And
but let's go back to that phone call. Given the president was ultimately unsuccessful in the quid pro quo, as Republicans argue, the Ukrainians never opposed the investigation, the aid ultimately flowed, and Trump met with Zelensky at the UN. Should Democrats consider a censure instead of the drastic step of impeachment?
Well, you know, you're going to make me go back to my law enforcement experience. I had an opportunity in 27 years to deal with a lot of people who attempted to rob a bank, attempted to burglarize a house, attempted to carjack an individual. We didn't say, well, since you weren't successful, we caught you, you weren't successful, so let's just let you go and forget it. No, we have an obligation given to us by the Constitution. I know it's one that the American people want us to uphold. And we're going to do the work before us. The fact that the president got caught, the fact that the president got caught in the act does not relieve him of being held accountable for the wrongdoing that he has engaged in.
And Congresswoman, you talk about public opinion. Public opinion on support for impeachment has not increased through the hearing process. There's not been a single House Republican to join the Democrats in this. So how do you really move forward, given what you said about the public?
Well, let me say, you know, we're going to do the work before us. Just like as a law enforcement officer, I never took a poll before I lived up to my responsibilities based on the oath that I took. I have been extremely troubled and disappointed by the behavior of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. Many of them I work on committees with, I've worked on other legislation with. I know them, I have the utmost respect for them, but their refusal to hold this president accountable and to clearly go into their partisan corner and protect this president at any and all costs is troubling to me, and I believe it's troubling to the American people.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Congresswoman Demings.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.